Okay. Hello, Falcon Ridge. I can see you out there, kind of. We're gonna get started with this section the way things should be started, with dessert. Into the heart of chocolate, cheesecake, mousse, cookie, and pie, homemade hot fudge, thick and creamy, dribbling over the melting Haagen-Dazs perched on the chocolate croissant. Oh, chocolate thing, take us into the heart of chocolate, where the calories are natural and don't amount to much if you count by threes. Swiss and Belgium, Lindor and Lindt chip from 50-pound blocks into chunks wrapped in cookie dough, baked and served warm. Only one bite takes us into the heart of chocolate. So I've been known to do some time traveling, and I had the chance to go way back in history and hang out with Moses. Found out he got an attitude, and the gist of it is this. It has been said that if you wait too long for something to come to you, you will be too old to enjoy it when it finally arrives. Well, I found this to be true when it came to my dream. A promised land. I was sure of it, knew that it would be the salvation of my family for untold generations. Its allure flowed through my veins, was nourished by every breath I drew. Yahweh had spoken, and my very core carried the resonance. His law, written in stone, bushes burning untouched, parlor tricks compared to the power I knew. I was the instrument of a vengeful God and could not be denied. And when the persuasion was finally over, I gazed on the waters of the Red Sea, saw the dust plumes rising from Pharaoh's chariots, and I spit on the earth and dared the fools to follow me. It was that look of seriousness and certainty that kept my people with me through the decades, waiting to be sure to find that just right, perfect place. I would not be satisfied until a generation had passed and my son's children were saying, enough. And I knew it was deliver or die a fraud. Right or wrong, posterity is of little concern to the dead, and I had to find myself in the seeking and held tight to the one thing left that kept me the man. I alone knew the promised land. So I left my legacy as a finder, and I passed that certainty through my loins and through my words into the future. And though I lived on Joshua's horn, begging slap at Egypt, my body knew only the desert, and my soul, it knows only the seeking. So coming up to a more contemporary time, I had the opportunity to hang out with my brother and his family. And my nephew, he showed me his baseball card collection. He brought out binders. The mythic sporting images were not perspiring in their plastic prophylactics. No card edge was bent or chipped. No gunpowder stains are showing. They're like bugs on pins or encased in amber, perfectly preserved and perfectly dead. As he proudly points out the value of his latest page, my mind flashes back to the 2 battered shoeboxes now stashed in my closet, carrying the dust from many of my lives. My cards, once complete sets, 67 and 68, all tattered and scratched, taped, marked in pen, charting the trades and transformations. Me and Danny, we played out a 187-game season with our teams. Keeping statistics, we took over my TV room, his den, masking tape bases, our trombone cases, making the walls of the house that Ruth built, the home of the Braves. With a button ball, we'd slide the pitch, roll the dice, and wear out the knees of many pants, sliding our cards after them. Now, 2.5 decades later, I can still see the muscular arms of Aaron, bat on shoulders, irregular for my guys, top right edge torn from bouncing off the walls, backside stats worn smooth for speed and swiftness, a sure threat to steal a base with the right wrist action. My last card in '67 was Mantle. I'd amassed doubles and triples by the score, cutting the rookie cards and taping them on to expand the roster. And then I got him. A headshot. Mickey Mantle. A face looking stupid. I had him before Danny did. Kept him for reputation, then dove into the treasure Danny's uncle bestowed. Gil Hodges, Ted Williams, Whitey Ford. I got the doubles. And going to top that, I hit the library, tearing the pictures from the history books, wrapping my doubles with Ty Cobb, Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson. We expanded to the minors, the Mud Hens and Bees, Pioneer League Specials, Boise, Spokane, the Negro Leagues, Kansas City Monarchs, Homestead Grays. We had a card for the commissioner, Ford Frick, and even umpires, and later, when we were older, cheerleaders taken from Playboy. If we were going to explore the off-field dimensions of the game, money was beside the point. It was a way of life that we were after, and when we saw our baseball cards, they were alive. So if that one doesn't give you an idea about how old I am, I think this next piece might elaborate a little bit more. Now, you see, the year that I was born, Dwight Eisenhower was president. It was the calm before the storm, post-baby boom, pre-Generation X. The 60s happened after my bedtime. I rode on the buses with the black kids, had a babysitter who was a yippie. She dove into the fountains of LA, scooping up pennies, strutting braless down the street in her wet t-shirt, proclaiming the land of the freaks and the home of the knaves. I watched the 6 o'clock news, Walter Cronkite telling it like it was. I soaked it up, felt the nation's blood pressure rise with the nightly body count. Hey, hey, LBJ! AUH20. And on the playgrounds, we thought they'd burn it down when Martin was shot. Thought that college is where you went to riot. And then they got Bobby, chained another Bobby to a chair, and we couldn't help but feel a twinge of patriotism when Smith and Carlos raised their fist in Mexican air. And I'm a freshman in high school, and they raised the bloody stakes at Kent State, and I am rethinking junior high, wondering whose side Callie was really on, and thinking I am going to have to take a number soon. I'm a sophomore. They elect Nixon with his secret plan for peace, and I know I am going to have to take a number soon. I'm a junior. I smoke a joint. I'm a senior, and the helicopters barely make it off Saigon roofs, and I don't have to take a number. And nobody asks me what I think, and I don't know what I would have done. But Carter is president, and if I was like my father, I would start my family now. Only he was with the Guard during Korea, and I just missed Vietnam. And I have a question still to face. And Carter does not revive Camelot, does not heed Ramsey Clark, finds that you can't take the moral high ground without the moral balls to hold it. Then Reagan gives the country a lobotomy. A decade is gone, and I still have a question. A few thousand questions I want answers for, and they don't have to do with World War II. I want to know about Allende and Nicaragua and cocaine. And George Bush tells us in his inaugural address that the great lesson of Vietnam is that a nation not be torn asunder by memory. He busts Noriega, gives us a desert storm proclaiming the wounds of the past are healed. Now I have a question, and George is gone. And in Bosnia, in Germany, in Russia, but even in Idaho and Montana and Texas, I see the face of Hitler. And I want to kick some ass. Only we don't. Now I have a question, and I've thought about it for a real long time. I have come to one inescapable conclusion, and that is that old hippies piss me off. Talking about revolution like it's over, like battles that were won stayed won. Why, you'd think safe sex was as much fun as free love. that free love don't work with condoms, that affirmative action assures human rights, that Jerry Rubin is truly enlightened. Old hippies piss me off. Towing the line like someone finally taught them to behave, dropping out to bliss in the 60s, dropping into the 90s comfort zone of Prozac, memory, and cable TV, digging through their vinyl for flashbacks of Woodstock and hair. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. Old hippies piss me off, acting like there'd ever been old hippies before, forgetting that freedom means we make it up as we go along. Old hippies piss me off, going gray, while old yippies go for tenure. The antics of their youth inspiring me to admonish college students to grow your hair. Thanks. So I don't know if y'all can really appreciate this, but the last thing I did in 1997 was go to a party with some strangers. And about the first thing that happened to me in 1998 was I recited a poem and got punched in the mouth. So that's the factual introduction to this next piece. I also sent it out with a dedication to the lads and lasses in Belfast who are putting it down for peace to end the white-on-white violence in that land. It's New Year's Day, 1998. Look deep into your heart. Look deeper then into your soul. Search the very bedrock of your being. Ask yourself but one question. Peer into your dark quarters. Examine those things about which you do not want to know. Grapple with your demons and your doubts. Find that deep and holy place within from where all the warmth of your being emanates. Immerse yourself in the rhythms of breath. Allow them to inform your senses and know, yes, the question is answered. Know again that this profound knowing guides your step as you stand in the whirring, buzzing morass of contradiction and complexity that we all live each moment of our lives in. Trust what you do not have words for as you face your fears one by one, calling them into the light, meeting them feet apart, arms by your side, palms open. Stand as they glare at you and throw their punch. Allow the blow to remind you that they too are real. Then, not making a fist, forgive your fears. Leave them free to find their own path on the planet. Wish them well in the journey. It is this way with peace, both inner and outer. You retain your fragile control in a world that is out of your control. You face your foe with open arms. When need be, absorb the blow and wish a place in heaven to wait patiently for your adversary as they enjoy a long and fruitful life. Refuse to name an enemy. Let your grudges walk away with your fears. It is this way with peace. It can only be done completely. And I'd like to leave you with this one little piece that gave the title to my book and CD that's out. It is from numberless, diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a person takes a stand for an ideal, or acts to improve the lots of others, or strikes out against injustice, that person sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. That was first spoken by Robert Kennedy at the University of Cape Town in South Africa in 1966. Gently, like water, cracking stone, the droplet finds the granite's fault and changes the face of the mountain with persistence and patience. Man, that joke just ain't funny. The locker room was silent as he shut the door behind him, gently, like water cracking stone. Thank you.